Okay, well, I think in the interest, well, you can really hear me. I think in the interest of the weather conditions, we better get started here. And I want to welcome everybody and thank you for making the effort to come out on a day like this afternoon. There's obviously some ironic irony about the fact that we're sitting here and standing in the rain and celebrating flood protection, but that's what it's all about. So, well, I think most of you probably know who I am. I'm John Lundell and have the honor and pleasure of being the mayor of Coralville. And I want to again, thank you for coming to Damn Near Done. What a great name that the staff came up with on this. So, first of all, I want to thank Dave and Denise Petzel for allowing us to, at the last minute today, switch our venue down here to their parking lot. It may be wet, but at least it's in better condition. So. And it's always important to call out some people in the audience. We have several elected officials, State Senator Bob Dvorsky, Representative Dave Jacoby, from the City Council, Jill Dodds, Lori Goodridge, Bill Hoft. We have Dave Lesh here representing Dave Lopesack. And I saw John Etheridge in the back from the County Board of Supervisors. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. So anyway, just, again, everybody in this audience probably remembers what it was like in this location back in 2008. We had over 200 businesses and 400 homes destroyed in Coralville. And it's amazing how far we've come since those floods and the flash floods and all the damage that occurred. Many of you have heard me tell this story, and I'll make it brief, but I can remember being on the council back then, and in the height of the flood, Mayor Fawcett here would call an emergency meeting of the city council every night, and we would always go down and strategize with the city staff on what happened today, more importantly, what needs to be done, and how we're going to come out of this a better Coralville. And that certainly is true, how we've come out of it a better Coralville. And I just want to give kudos to the staff and to the consultants that have the foresight in the height of the flood to be out there taking measurements, shooting elevations of the water levels, taking photographs both from the air and on the ground of what was happening with our flood, so that they could very quickly and design the protection that was necessary. And then after quickly making those designs, they quickly turned those into successful applications to our state and federal partners. And it's incredible how fast we're able to protect our city. So, since we've invested over $60 million with our partners into this protection, and the result is amazing. The last two summers, 2013 and 14, we've had some dangerous flooding conditions that almost went over the reservoir, but we were protected both years. We felt very comfortable. There was just a few temporary barriers this year. That's all we needed, and the rest of us, we knew we were well protected, and that's something we can all be very proud of. So, Dan, there you are, right there. I don't know. Do you have the system or? Okay. Well, so one of the ways that this what we're celebrating today, one of our protection systems is these removable and also permanent and removable flood barriers. And if the weather was a little nicer, you could have gotten up a little closer. But Dan Holderness, our city engineer, is going to talk a little bit about the protection system and in particular about these walls, I believe.
Thank you, Mayor. What a long way we've come in 6 years. Isn't this great to be here, even though it's a rainy day? As the mayor said, we had a lot of decisions to make quickly during the floods of 2008, and we knew that we had to provide flood protection for the residents and the core business district of the city, so that we could protect them and they would come back and reinvest in their businesses and homes after the 2008 flood. So we chose a variety of flood control systems, one of which you can see right beside us here. We didn't want to have just huge berms or huge concrete walls that would take away the sight of the river, because we wanted to actually engage the river and get people back to the river, not keep them away from the river. So we chose 3 different systems of flood wall protections. One is earthen berms, which are full height, and those are in a few small places where access to the river is not actually critical. Those are less expensive. We chose the system here, which is a combination of permanent flood walls and removable flood wall panels. The permanent walls are all built to a 100-year flood elevation plus 1 foot, so that the nuisance floods, so to speak, will be contained behind permanent structures. And then we have a system we can put on top of these. You can look down there, right beyond the second yellow recycling bin down there. We put up several sections of those panels. The panels are 20 foot long, and they're aluminum. They're 11 inches high and 2 inches wide, and each panel weighs about 110 pounds, so that 2 people can easily handle them. As you can see, there's places where you put support beams. Every 10 feet you put a support beam to be able to withstand the pressure of the flood against those panels. And they go up really quickly. A crew of 4 people can put up a 100-foot section 4 foot high in 4 hours or less, and so they go up relatively quickly. And they're also modular, so you can put up a couple of panels, and if you decide that you need more, you can come back and add more panels on top, so you can add height to them. And so in this case, that's how we provide the protection from the 100-year plus 1 foot flood elevation to the '08 flood elevation plus 1 foot. And so we think it's a unique system. This is one of the areas, obviously, you want to be able to access the river and to view the river. And we have this in several places. We have it here. We have it up at the Marriott. We have it down at the Wells Fargo building. And so we think this is a great solution that our consultants came up with. And we're really pleased to have this all completed and be able to accelerate this today.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate your explanation. This project has been identified on more than one occasion by engineering society for the excellence in design. And just recently, in fact, it's going to be publicly announced, I think, on Thursday of this week, the Iowa section of the American Society of Civil Engineers has recognized Coralville's Assistant City Engineer Scott Larson as Outstanding Government City Engineer for 2014, and also recognized Outstanding Civil Engineering Project Achieved Award. Outstanding Civil Engineering Project Achievement Award for this Coralville flood protection system. So not only do we appreciate it, but the professional societies also recognize the design that Dan just described. But of course, this progress wouldn't be possible without the many partners that we had. One of those being the United States Economic Development Administration that provided about $7.2 million worth of support, particularly for the CRANDIC flood protection system. Robert Olson, the Denver Regional Director, was hoping to be here today to join us, but he couldn't. But he sent us a very brief note that I'll read because it is brief. Again, this is from Robert Olson, Regional Director of Economic Development Administration in the Denver office. EDA is proud to be a co-investor and partner with the City of Coralville on its rail corridor flood protection system and congratulates the community on its implementation of this important project. The economic and physical impacts of the 2008 flood disaster in Coralville were huge, disrupting business activity and employment centers. With new flood protection in place, Coralville has gained added resilience to better withstand future flood events. This should lead to greater confidence for investment and economic expansion in the city. And so thank you, Mr. Olson, for those comments, and they're certainly true by the economic redevelopment that's very evident in areas that were previously flooded. Now, we also have with us today, though, Mr. Steve Eggleston. He's the Field Office Director of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development from the Des Moines Field Office. And Coralville's flood protection work includes over $13 million in community development block grant funds, which are provided through the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Iowa Economic Development Administration. So CDBG funding in particular has been very critical to this project. So I'd like to invite Steve up to make a few comments, please.
Hello, everyone. Steve Eggleston. It is ironic that it's raining today, and the mayor mentioned something about staff. As a department, we are by statute responsible for the dollars that come through Congress to help, and we're very proud of the work that we're able to do to assist. And the state has a management responsibility also. But I think, besides the fact the mayor said that there was such clear engineering and photos and the myriad of rules and regulations and being able to get through all of those programs and get it right and be able to complete this project is very important. And I think the staff really, really deserves a round of applause for that. I did have one minuscule part. I had a chance to meet with Ellen Habel and Dan and do some little environmental work. Anything that we can do in the future to help with this, to make it better, please let us know. I congratulate you, Mayor, And one quick last thing, I think the city council, and he mentioned the mayor here, the leadership of the local elected officials is important. They're not making big dollars. They're doing this as not something that they want to do on their own, and you all should be applauded for that. Thank you.
Okay. And of course, another very important partner is our state partners. And Coralville benefited greatly from the iJobs 1 and the iJobs 2 programs, and more recently is taking advantage of the Iowa Sales Tax Increment Program. Coralville, of course, has two longtime tremendous advocates in Iowa legislature, and Senator Bob Dvorsky and Representative Dave Jacoby, both who live in Coralville and both are former members of the city council. So I'd like to invite Senator Dvorsky to come up here now and make a few comments about the iJobs program.
Thank you, Mayor John, and thank you, Ellen, and everyone else who set up this program. Clever how you got the rain out here to show that we're not out of the woods yet. So, thank you for that. First of all, I just wanted to thank everyone here, those of you who voted for me, I guess, to give me and maybe those who didn't, but to give me the opportunity to be in place in Des Moines when this disaster did hit. I was able to work together with some amazing people across the state to get something done in that area. And the iJobs program actually did work. I had the opportunity and the honor of being one of 10 legislators, 5 from the House, 5 from the Senate, who created the iJobs program and then worked on putting it into effect. And we created the iJobs board and all that. And we're happy to report for Coralville, I believe the largest single amount of any city was given to the city of Coralville because of all their good work and the way we did the program and everything. And I think totally we've, through the iJobs 1 and 2, Coralville will have received about $40 million from the state of Iowa for this program. The other program that we also put into place with the leadership of Senator Hogue and others in this area is the Iowa Sales Tax Increment Fund, and you're going to receive probably about $10 million from that also to get that moving. I think with both these programs in place the last few years, Coralville has really moved forward and did a lot of things with the help of the federal government, as well as Coralville's own money, and got everything in place. So the last couple of years, 2013, 2014, there was a couple scary situations with the water rising, right, David? The water really rising and everything, but Coralville was really well prepared to deal with it. And that's due to, I think, all the work they've done the last several years and all our partners from the federal government and the state government to do that. So we're really in good place. Would also note that it wasn't just Coralville that benefited from the iJobs program, that a number of other communities across the state have. And I had a great letter from Mayor Corbin in Cedar Rapids. I would just read one quote from that. But we want to let you know that we owe you enormous debt of gratitude for the unwavering support you have provided to our community over the years. So the city of Cedar Rapids, who was really decimated by this, received a tremendous amount of support from iJobs also. And I think the program has really worked well. And I compliment everyone involved in the iJobs program from the state, as well as everyone in the city of Coralville and the federal government, everyone working together. So here we are, and we're in place now to deal with any rain or anything else they're going to put towards us. One last thing. One thing that Senator Hogue and Senator Bolcom and I worked on was creating the Iowa Flood Center. And I think there's someone here from the Iowa Flood Center. And that has exceeded way beyond our wildest ideas, that is really the way of the future, that, floods are going to happen. We need to be prepared, and the Iowa Flood Center is there to help guide us. So we really appreciate that and hope we can continue with that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator Dvorsky, and again, thank you, Representative Jacoby as well. So, looks like Councilmember Gross has arrived as well. So, welcome, Mitch. He had to deliver some kids before he came here. So the theme, of course, of today is damn near done, and we are truly damn near done. We have two projects that remain to be finished. That's the elevation of 5th Street in front of the Old Town project that's under construction right now. That will allow 5th Street to remain open in flooding conditions, and that's a crucial arterial and bus route in our community. And then the south side of Clear Creek there behind behind Mondo's and the old movies to go area, and we need to provide that protection. Both of those are designed and funded thanks to the sales tax increment program. And this past year they were protected by those temporary HESCO barriers, but that won't be much longer where you even have to worry about using those. The 5th Street project will be completed in 2015, and the south side of Clear Creek will be done in late 2017. So truly, in less than 10 years, we will be 100% done with our project, and that is really amazing. And thank you to everyone here that helped make that happen. Okay, well, I think we're about ready to wrap it up with, we don't, usually it's tradition to either break ground or cut a ribbon, but we're not going to do either one today. I'd like to invite up the City Council and Senator Dvorsky and Representative Jacoby and Mr. Eggleston and Mayor Fawcett. We're going to have and Dave Lesh, you'd be happy to come up if you'd like to. And we're going to have a umbrella raising very appropriately. So come on up. Yes, he did. Yep. You bet. Yep. Okay. Okay, get ready to open them up here. So, thanks. So it's the theme is down with the sandbags and up with the umbrella. Here, very clever. Okay, well, I think thank you to Alan for helping me with these notes and getting this all organized, and the rest of the city staff for making this happen. So, and thank you all for coming out.